Hey up everyone, hope we're all doing well. Now listen, hear me out. I think Ilia Topuria could become the greatest mixed martial artist of all time. And straight away, I already know that there's going to be plenty of people jumping into the comments, typing away, saying I know nothing, I'm a casual, but just hear me out. Now, first off, what started to get my brain thinking about this? Well, mainly, it was the fact that I saw so many people say, why did Ilia vacate his title at 145? He could have became the featherweight GOAT potentially. And it just made me think, he vacated that 145 title, he had his reasons for it, but overall, he's not interested in being the featherweight GOAT. He's more interested in being the GOAT of MMA. And I see the vision. I see the vision of Ilia Topuria being crowned as the greatest to ever do it the day that he retires. And he wants to retire young, which is fair play to him. At the end of the day, that is the ideal career. In and out, don't take much damage, and get a load of money and be considered one of the greatest to do it. So I can't really argue against it, and I love that from him. But when you factor in what he's achieved and how good he really is at, the late 20s and undefeated, it really does get you thinking, man, he genuinely could become the GOAT. I mean, let's just have a quick gander through his resume. Again, remember, he's only in his late 20s and he is undefeated. So, starts off, before he makes it to the UFC, he finishes everyone with submissions, and then gets a TKO just before he joins the UFC. On his UFC debut, Youssef Zalal, that has aged really well. That's aging like fine wine at the moment, considering that Youssef Zalal is on a nice winning streak and just beat Calvin Kattar only, a week ago, 2 weeks ago. And he looked really good in that fight, even though was a bit lackluster towards the end of it. But still, a very good win, short notice. I've heard that he was recovering from COVID as well. Very good win, short notice fight. After this, gets a knockout over Damon Jackson, which is an okay name, nothing crazy. Next fight, Ryan Hall. And this is where I really started to hear about Ilia Topuria, and I was really happy with this one because for those who don't know, Ryan Hall, people were gassing up Ryan Hall so much. And because of the shit he did on The Ultimate Fighter, and because he's like so laid back and does a load of fucking submissions and all this shit, and everyone was gassing up Ryan Hall, and then Ilia went out there and was like, fuck all that, I'm gonna knock you out, mate. And did just that, sent him to the shadow realm. After this, had a few cancelled fights against Movsar. I think he would have beat Movsar. Cancelled fight against Charles Jourdain, would have beat Charles Jourdain. Goes up on short notice in the lightweight division to KO Jai Herbert, and obviously everyone brings up that head kick, but still, he looked great against Jai Herbert in that second round. In the first round, he didn't look the best, but again, it was short notice, upper weight division, so I'll give him a bit of leeway, but just a whatever win, really. After this, cancelled fight against Edson Barboza, who would have beat. Thank God that didn't happen. I love you, Barboza. Next up, we have Bryce Mitchell, who was undefeated at the time and was on a good tear. I remember going into this fight, people were 50-50. It was giving me vibes of PTN and Aljamain Sterling, where everyone was just like, didn't know who was going to win. I thought Ilia was going to win, and he did just that. He submitted the grappler who was submitting other people and getting decision wins against other people by using his grappling. Ilia Topuria dropped him and was able to ragdoll him to get the finish, and it was beautiful. Then he got a Josh Emmett and got a 10-7 round and just absolutely dominated Josh Emmett, poor bloke, and that's a great win. And then comes the knockout win over Volkanovski, absolutely fantastic. The featherweight GOAT he knocked out in the second round, and obviously you got that a few months prior with Islam Makhachev getting knocked out. But I've always said, I believe even if Volk didn't get knocked out a few months beforehand against Islam Makhachev, I still think Ilia Topuria would have knocked out Volk. I don't think it was a chin thingy, I think it's just styles. I always think that Ilia Topuria's style was going to find Volkanovski's chin, and that's why I always predicted Ilia Topuria to win that one. And then we move on to Max Holloway's last outing in October, and people weren't expecting him to win against Volkanovski. People weren't expecting it, and then it happened. People were expecting him to maybe beat Max Holloway, but maybe a decision. It was a bit 50-50, but not many people were really calling for him to knock out Max Holloway. And that's what he did. He knocked out Max Holloway, which no one else has been able to do, which is really impressive. And he looked really good, really sharp. And now he's moved on up to the 155 division, and I can't wait to see what he does next. So I think it will be a big statement on his already great legacy, because now he's moving up to the lightweight division, And Ariel Helwani has revealed that the plan is to make Ilia Topuria versus Islam Makhachev potentially by International Fight Week, maybe later on in the year. So it seems like they want him to fight a contender first. Hopefully we just make the Islam Makhachev fight, but let's say they make a contender fight first. Who have you really got? Dustin Poirier, Arman Sarukian, Charles Oliveira. Ilia Topuria beats any three of them. That is a fucking fantastic name to have on your resume. And then let's say he goes on to beat Islam Makhachev, which I think he will be able to do. I think that already is GOAT-like resume. Volkanovski, Max Holloway, one of the three contenders out of like Poirier, Arman, or Charles. All three are very, you know, justifiable to be a great name to have on your resume. And then Islam Makhachev. That right there, those four names right there, back to back to back. How can you argue against it? When he's in his, you know, late 20s as well, will become a two-weight champion. I think that would be GOAT material, that right there. Even if he just ended his career right there, I think that's enough to say, yeah, he is the GOAT. And you would have people say, oh, well, he needed to fight more. He needed to have more defensive. Say if he ended his career after getting those wins. That's what they would say. But I would say no. Just the level of that competition alone outweighs him having to defend it against okay competition for, I don't know, like 5-6 title defenses. Now, am I saying that it's a walk in the park? Not at all. I think all of these top contenders in the lightweight division are going to be hard work for Ilia Topuria. I don't think it's a walk in the park, but do I think it's capable? Yes. I believe Ilia Topuria is capable of beating these lightweight fighters, and I can't wait to see it. Now that he's vacated 145, he's going to set his entire goal on destroying that 155 division, and I think he will be capable of it. And obviously he wants to move up to 170 and try to become the first ever triple weight champion. I think that's pushing it a bit too far. I don't think he would be capable of winning the title at 170. I think he'll be way too small, I'll be completely honest. But even if he was to move up and try triple chance status, I don't think that would be used against him to say he isn't the GOAT if he was to have all those wins at lightweight again. You know what I mean? So I feel like if he went up to welterweight and failed, I don't think that would be a knock against him, because it's just such a ballsy thing to try and attempt, and not many people have the opportunity to even attempt that as well. And ultimately, when it comes to Ilia Topuria, for me, his skill is just so well-rounded. You know, got great boxing, great grappling skills. It seems quite durable. His cardio seems good when he's going at his own pace. His confidence levels are through the sky. It seems like he's really ambitious and also realistic, and I just can't wait to see the future of Ilia Topuria and how it folds out. So I hope I'm not doing a video in like a year or two's time talking about the downfall of Ilia Topuria, and I don't think that will be the case. I'm really excited about the future of Ilia Topuria, because he's always in banger fights as well. Again, since he's been in the UFC, he's just finishing everyone. So I can't wait to see if he can keep that up going up to the lightweight division. I can't wait to see how he pans out the rest of his career. But guys, what do you think about Ilia Topuria and whether he can become the GOAT? Let me know in the comments. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Let me know. Thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one.